Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So here's the deal, y'all. I was in a Facebook group and I saw a video posted in the group in which the guy is doing one of those street interviews and he was asking several ratchets what's something you never told any of your boyfriends, and they would talk pretty much how they cheated. Pretty much all the answers were stuff they did to cheat and with whom they cheated. One's like, I aborted his baby and his brother's baby. Another one said, I effed his dad, I effed his brother, I effed his baby mama. It was all this. And just the accents were ratchet. The pronunciation of their words was ratchet. And the way they looked was ratchet too, out of shape. And I left a comment saying that these women should have been femcells just based on their accents before we even got to everything else. They're not. These women were not femcells like they should have been. And I stated, we men have been too easy. And someone pretty much said, well, you know, man, women can always have access to that. It is what it is. He wasn't mean about it. I'm not knocking him per se, but I did have to disagree that we can change that. I disagreed and said, well, we can change that. Because see, first of all, these are more like little girls with boobs or hyenas or something in between, but these aren't women. And we can do better. And he said, well, you know, we won't be able to change this, but we can go back to being the gatekeepers of relationships like we've always been. I don't think people understand. Men have been gatekeepers to relationships and them draws. Women have been gatekeepers to relationships and them draws. But in response to men being too sexually easy, women have focused on being gatekeepers to them draws. See, they're gatekeepers to relationships too, but only two types. Relationships that are fair to you, relationships that are unfair but to your advantage. They're not gatekeepers to relationships that are unfair but to their advantage and to your disadvantage, to my disadvantage. No, they're easy with those. Let me use you in exchange for nothing. They don't gatekeep those. They'll give those away because it's unfair to their advantage. They take and don't give. There's no gatekeeping for that. But do they gatekeep relationships? Absolutely. They gatekeep on quality. They gatekeep on exclusivity too. In other words, they'll turn around and screw you sometimes in a relationship and screw a bunch of other guys with whom they're not really in a relationship. Or at least not that publicly acknowledged relationship. A sneaky link. Hell, a sneaky link gets it more when she's with you. Because she's with you. Those are the relationships which they gatekeep. They just get more lax as they get older because they have to. That's it. So what does this mean? As soon as they sexually mature, start gatekeeping them draws and relationships. This, like I said, this adult crop of women now are not going to learn a lesson. But the little boys and the little girls that are still kids can see what the elder women are going through, what the adult women of today are going through, and they can learn something because they're innocent and they deserve that opportunity. And it's not going to happen till we men stop being so sexually easy. Male chastity is important for these practical reasons as well as for spiritual reasons. They do gatekeep. They want relationships and they still gatekeep on them. And that's what we need to be doing. They want relationships and they want them draws and they gatekeeping both. You know what? We like both. Let's gatekeep both anyway. Because remember, see, they will marry you and then turn around and file for divorce. But they want relationships. Do they say, well, I want the relationship but not the marriage? They don't say that. They file for divorce. That's it. You both of y'all are done. Relationship's already over. Do you not see what I'm going with this? We think, well, you know, we're gatekeeping relationships. We do to a certain extent, but not enough and not like they do. And we think that we're exercising power when we do that. No, you're not. You got to be able to turn down them draws, and you can. So they've tricked us into learning early that we may have to live without them drawers, but we can't turn it down. Well, that's very convenient for them. If you can live without it, you can turn it down. You already live without it. Most of us do. They just got you thinking you can't turn it down. And that's where we made the mistake of buying into that. Nobody can always turn it down every single time if they're always being offered. But I mean, let's be honest. We can't turn it down. You've turned it down before. You just got to simply understand that the reasons for which you turn down the ones you do are right around the corner from the ones you would not have turned down, but never offered it to you because they know you wouldn't turn it down. Believe me, you're better at this, gentleman, than you think you are. As a matter of fact, I've stated that fasting can do that because even though initially fasting may raise testosterone production in the first few days, even though that does happen, it puts the brain in extra control because you're rewiring the brain every time you fast to control your stomach. And if you can rewire the brain to control that, of course, you will control the private parts. Absolutely. You can do this, gentlemen. We can do this. And many times we've already done it and didn't think about it. Until the day that we practice male chastity and gatekeep even the draws, the quality of these women is going to deteriorate. And another generation and every subsequent generation of young boys will become young men and have nothing to choose from. Understand? They're already trying to export everything bad, whether it's feminism or misandry or just inchastity. They're all trying to export all of these nasty negative things abroad, and they're succeeding. And what's one of the reasons? Well, part of it is because we think we can't turn it down. And that's our mistake. We want to hit that. That's fine. They want somebody to dig them out. But they're pretty much saying, nope, no more than this 13 and sometimes as low as 7% can get it. And that's largely one of the reasons they're able to say that is because 100% of us are saying you can get it. Stop saying that. Quit that. Otherwise, granted, the solution now is to leave the West, but understand, do you still want the next generation of little boys and little girls to be exactly like ours? The ladies being the worst options, period, and the boys not having any decent options from which to choose while competing to be the best options to have a shot. You want this for them too? See, understanding that you're going to leave the West does not mean that you leave behind an inheritance for the next generation that's going to keep the West the same as what it was. If it's going to be, make sure that it stays the same in spite of you and not because of you. Thanks for listening. Black Heart, Black Mind, Blackout, Assalamu Alaikum. And as always, black, heterosexual, non-select, male power just because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.